Some Orlando area roads looked more fit for boats than cars tonight. The flooded streets slowed traffic to a crawl along some parts of Orange Blossom Trail. Even the experienced drivers found the weather a challenge.
Oh, it's terrible. The roads are all flooded and the cars about to stall out and traffic is merging in. It's terrible out there tonight.
One couple found that out when their car slid front end first into a ditch. Just across the street, the people at Shucker's Oyster Bar found themselves mopping the floor again, something they do practically every time it rains.
It's come in the front door before. I mean, it's come up maybe 9 or 10 inches high total.
What seems to be unique about this year's rainy weather is that many of the people we talked with, especially people who live here, say it's unlike anything they can really remember.
You know, I was born and raised in Orlando, and I remember Hurricane David when it was pretty bad. It's been a while since I've seen this.
And there's no telling when or if this will end anytime soon. From the looks of things, don't count on it. In Orlando, Joan Conley, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
We are expecting a very high rise of tide.
And that's where the danger comes in.
That's where the danger comes in, yeah.
How high are you expecting tides?
Well, they're predicting somewhere between 14 and 18 feet.
Above normal?
Yes, with the surge of the storm.
You've lived through many a hurricane in the Bahamas. What have you seen in the past? How dangerous could this be?
Well, the last two storms that we have here, other than the 29, I went through the 29 here. And we had the full storm, just exactly like this one is doing. And we had weather conditions and hurricane conditions for about 3 days and 3 nights.
Most of the people there, Uncle Earl, have they left? Have they taken flights out? What's been the situation at the airport?
Well, the airport is now completely shut down, been shut down since 1 o'clock. But they are taking the precautions of moving a lot of people away from the waterfront homes and moving them into shelters. But along the waterfront and the marinas and so forth, we look for an enormous amount of damage.
Well, thank you, Uncle Earl. I appreciate your time, and batten down, tell everybody I love them, and be safe, and we're thinking about them. And
we'll try to stay safe, Marla.
Hurricane Andrew did its dirty work in the night. In Dade County, 160-mile-an-hour winds lashed out. Only now, 12 hours after the eye hit land, is the immense extent of the damage becoming clear.
I'm a Vietnam veteran, and I thought we had been through the war all over again. I say, my God, we've been hit with every rocket and mortar that they threw at us. It's ridiculous.
From Coral Gables down south, entire neighborhoods have been leveled. Andrew played no favorites, destroying big buildings and small, churches and shopping centers, but most of all, people's lives.
This is one of those things you think happens in Haiti or something. You know what I mean? It's just unbelievable.
Residents in Kenland have no power, water, passable roads, or hope for the immediate future. Because there are so many victims, most realize that, at least for now, they are on their own.
Ross Cavett, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Power gradually went out across the area. Electric crews will have a huge job ahead of them. The eerie blue glow of blowing transformers highlighted the pre-dawn South Florida sky. Most of Dade and Broward counties have lost electricity. Anything not tied down has become a dangerous projectile, and fears about beach erosion are coming true as sand piles up on inland roads. Nobody on the beaches this morning, although last night it was a place to be.
Maybe it's the last time it's going to be like this for a while, you know, because of erosion and all that stuff. So I just wanted to see, you know, just check it out, you know, just like that.
Although gusts of 150 miles an hour plus have been recorded in South Dade County, winds north of the eye of the hurricane have not been as vicious as expected, but still extremely dangerous.
Ross Cavett, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
11 sites in 3 central Florida counties shelter 4,000 people fleeing Hurricane Andrew in South Florida. Disaster plans are brought off the page and put into action. The plan works, but there are still ways to improve it.
Now we can sit down and do some type of mapping so that maybe we could drop it off at the toll collector's booth ahead of the arrival of the evacuees, and when they come through, say they're looking for shelter, then we can give them a map.
Lemley says he's pleased with the way state and local police notified emergency management when evacuees started heading this way. Emergency management worked with the Red Cross to get shelters ready. After an appeal for food, businesses volunteered. For future use, Red Cross workers want to keep track of those and enlist more individual volunteers.
When you don't have a storm in the local area and you are activating your disaster people still have to work and do this sort of thing. So we need to work a little bit more on people who would be more available during the week like this week.
What kind of crust?
Bobby Erickson opened the first restaurant in this part of the Keys since Hurricane Andrew. She says her remaining food should help the islands, whose people are now cut off from civilization.
We kind of feel abandoned here. We want to know what's going on up there because some of our loved ones did leave the Keys and go to Homestead. And the little pieces of information we're getting is that it's leveled. Well, the people down here also want to know that their loved ones are safe.
Most of the islands have no electricity or water, and phone service is completely cut. Even traffic from the mainland has been curtailed, police stopping most cars trying to cross the causeways.
That's the bad news, but the good news is that the Keys on the south side of Hurricane Andrew's eye escaped the total devastation felt by neighbors to the north.
The North Keys, including the Ocean Reef Resort, were hit hardest. We also found this guy who tried to ride out the storm on his boat only to find himself in an awkward dry dock. Residents of the Keys worry that the worst might still be ahead until their links to civilization are reestablished.
I think it's pretty awful that Keys are forgotten a lot of times because we're so far away. And everybody in this town has family and relatives all over, United States, and they're all so concerned.
Ross Cavett, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
In a city where nothing is normal, kids try to return to something that is. Folks here in this Homestead neighborhood have banded together for no other reason but necessity.
Since this has happened, the people has really come together and started introducing themselves and asking each other, do we need anything or if we need any help.
And these people need each other. Collectively, they feel isolated. They've had little contact with the outside world, and the people they want to hear from the most are their insurance companies.
They told us that they'll send a man out here within 24 hours, and we would get an advance to go to any hotel up north and some money for food and supplies, but I have not seen none. Nothing.
How long has that been?
From the day of the storm.
We've tried calling with no success. It's either the number is busy or it rings, with no one's answering the phones. We can't even put in a claim.
Aria Smith says her insurance company told her to fix her roof before she makes a claim. She can't understand why no one in her neighborhood has seen an adjuster yet.
I don't want to appear insensitive, but you have to understand that your house is not the only one that's damaged. There are thousands, maybe.
I understand that, but I'm living in this one.
Let me show you what some folks are doing here in this neighborhood. Aside from spray painting their addresses and warning signs on the front of their houses, they're also spray painting the name of their insurance company and their claim number in order to speed up the process.
It's hard to believe, but people in this neighborhood were living comfortable lives just this past weekend. Now they live by candlelight. Besides themselves, these folks are counting on their insurance companies to rebuild their lives.
There's no place to live.
Jack Hamburg, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.